Hello, my friends, and happy Mother's Day. It is officially Mother's Day here. I don't know if you'll see this on Mother's Day, but I'll go ahead and say it right now. It's like 12:30-ish. Yeah, exactly 12:30. Actually, on the East Coast on Mother's Day, which is Sunday, the 11th of May this year. And I'm hopping on real quick to show you what I've been working on, because one of these items, like one finished object, is going home to its home, or going to its recipient tomorrow. So I wanted to get it on tonight. Plus, I just haven't seen you guys in a while, and I got some time, and I'm wide awake, so I had drank some coffee way too late. But anyway, here I am. My name is Zuri. This is my channel, Talk Yarning to Me. Thank you for watching. And we're gonna talk yarning for a very short amount of time today, because one, I have only been working on 3 projects probably since I talked to you last, which was week and a half ago, right? It had been like last Friday. I think it was last Friday. Yes, right when I finished my sweater, my cardigan, which is in the dryer, I think. So I remember actually talking, I'll tell you guys this. I remember talking about how one of the sleeves I felt was like, one of the armholes was just a little bit tight. I will provide a short update. This last weekend was unseasonably chilly and rainy here in Atlanta. So I actually got to take my sweater out and test drive it in the wild, and wearing it like throughout the day, honestly, like I didn't notice that little bit of tightness around the armhole, so it works. I am decided though that I am gonna put pockets on it, because like I said, I think I told someone in a comment, like all weekend I was wearing it and I'm like trying to stick my hands in my pockets, and it's like they're not there, and it's perfect length because it's a longer cardigan, perfect length to have some pockets. So I will put the pockets on. I have the yarn up there to do it. I just haven't done it because I've been working on these things. So I mentioned last week that I have to get back on my C2C GraphGAN, the graduation cap and diploma one that I've been working on, because my niece, who's the recipient, is graduating. I think now we're down to 10 days. So I wanted to get finished with that, and I had kind of put it in timeout and not worked on it because I was working on other things. And then I think I had to like rewatch the tutorial to see how to like carry the yarn forward, if you have to pick up the yarn a little bit before where you dropped it when you change colors. And I felt like that was going to be like daunting. It turns out it wasn't. I should have just watched the tutorial. And so like we've been flying through then. It's too many bobbles and things for me to like hold it up and show you guys, so I'm gonna lay it out. I hope you don't hear my dog just lapping up his water right there. It's so loud. I'm gonna lay it out on my bed, and I'll shoot a video just showing it to you guys and explaining what I've been going through. So I'll splice that in somewhere at some point in this video. Okay, I'll splice it in right now. So here is my C2C GraphGAN. Hey guys, I'm gonna try to make this as not shaky as possible, but here is my graduation blanket so far. So as you see, we are 50. We already reached the 50 across, and we're in the decreases now, so that is good. I literally worked on this almost every day for like the last week, or like every evening after work, with some exceptions. We'll be further along. I worked on this like all day yesterday, but this like field of green right here, like pretty much from about row like 48, 49 up to here, which is probably like 53 or 4, gave me so much trouble. It's like, I don't know why. I wish I could, oh, there we go. Yeah. I can zoom out a little bit. Okay. So it gave me so much trouble because I just kept losing count. And I think it's just because I had so much freedom up through here to just crochet and crochet. And then by the time I got to here, like I would just, I don't know. Because coming down is easy because, you know, it's like, oh, 5 green, 7 black, and then maybe like, 9 black, with the little one in between, and then just all the way down here. And then you just come back, and I would always get messed up. So I did those rows, all those rows, like probably like 2 or 3 times each, probably 2 times each. So that was all of, sorry, my hand. That was all of yesterday. But as you see, we made a lot of progress. I started probably right around here, right around halfway up. So row 25, somewhere between 25 and 30. And actually, no, I know I started exactly right this row. I remember because this is the one where I had to come down and pick up the black earlier. So yeah, I started here. So everything from here up has been in about the last week. I did mean to do these ends in like before I showed you guys, but here we are. Sorry, my hand. Let me see what else. So as you see, we have the diploma finish. This is you guys, I'm pretty sure you can tell, this is like the mortar board. Is that what it's called? Of the cap, and then like the headband part of the cap. They don't ever, in the picture, like in the final product, they never like fully connect, but it'll be a cohesive thing. And then this is like the edge of the tassel. So I'm hoping another couple days of just powering through, and I'll be able to get this whole thing done. Or, well, the graph part. And then I will be adding to it. Because you see, this is like right around, I want to say close to 36 inches. I'd have to find my my tape measures across the room there. You guys don't want to watch me measure stuff. But, so I want to get to at least 48 inches, if not 50. I feel like 50 is a good versatile blanket. It can be, or not 50, hold on. 48 and 50 is like 2 inches. What's the next one? 48, 5 feet is 60, right? Yeah. That's a lot though. I feel like that's a lot. 5 feet, but yeah. So 3 more, like, so yeah, 3 more, another like 1.5 feet, 18 inches on each side. That's a lot to do. I don't even know. I think I have enough yarn for that. But I'm not sure. But we'll just see what we can do. I'm gonna do some kind of like radiating out thing, like a block stitch maybe on both sides. I mean, all around. Something that's gonna hopefully grow pretty quickly. But we're gonna make it bigger. Like I said, I'd like to get it. I feel like 4 feet is good. Like 48 inches is not bad. That's a like decent lap blanket throw size. My niece is not that big. She's a little. She's short, and she's not too short. She's taller than me, but she's not a huge girl, and she's very skinny. But she's also always cold, so something she can wrap up in. And yeah, so that's where we're at. So this is all big twist yarn. The black is black, I assume, and the green is sage, and sage is her favorite color, so that's why I chose that. And so that's where we are. I am really happy with this, and I'm glad that I power through and decided to just do it. I wish I just picked it back up weeks ago because it wasn't as daunting as I thought it was. And it's actually been really easy, except for this just counting. But now that we're back to like more color changes, like I have to, like, it's actually harder to make a mistake because you have to keep track. I don't have to crochet like 27 of this, and just lose count and forget, was it 26, was it 27? And also I think in my little, here, I'm gonna bring you around. This is the actual graph. And somewhere I started like messing up, like you see I'm keeping track, but like I started messing up the directions at some point too. I'm back on track here, but like somewhere up in here, like I had the wrong directions and everything. So anyway, this is it. I guess that is all back to other me downstairs in the chair. I will see you guys later. Okay, I'm assuming that you guys saw that. If all went well, you just saw all that, and I talked at length about how that went, or how that process has been going. I'm really happy with it. I think I'll be done with the graph really soon, the graph part really soon. Then I just have to extend it out, which I probably just explained to you, so you're hearing this again. The other thing that I worked on this week is my heart blanket. This is the thing I worked on the least, because this is just something, well, this is what I have like kind of by my desk. Where are you at? Okay. I don't remember, where's my little, I think I forgot to place a little marker to show you guys where I was. This is, I think, only maybe 2 or 3 repeats up from where I was last time I showed you guys. I think I was probably like maybe here or here. So not much has changed, but I am on the last repeat of this pale pink color. And so once I finish this one, we will be back. We'll be on the last stretch of the blanket, which is to do this peach color. And so that's it. I'm not even gonna stand up and show you guys because it looks exactly the same, but this is a heart. This is the heart blanket. It's the heart stitch. I believe there's several tutorials for this. It's very easy. I believe the one I'm following is from Siren's Crochet. But there's several of these. And so that's that. And then what I spent, so the Grafgan was like my nighttime project. It's been what I've been working on like every night when I get off work. But if I'm just sitting here at my desk and working most of the week, I was doing my socks, and I finished them. Lexi, my husband's socks. So this is my second pair of socks. I literally just cast these off and wove in the ends. So these are fresh. I'm gonna actually take off the stitch markers while we chat. Stitch markers are just there to keep track of your rows. So you know how many rows you've done, and then you keep them on there while you do the second sock so that you can make sure that you can easily confirm that you're doing the same like size. You're doing the same number of rows. Like, so you're not like, did I do 60 rows or 70 rows or whatever? And then you don't have to sit there and count these little tiny stitches. So yeah, these I just cast off. Like I said, they're for my husband. They are made with, I left it upstairs. I had a little bit, they made a Premier wool-free sock yarn in the color Rainforest, which I think is spot on. This is exact, like look at this color. This is exactly what I would expect a rainforest to look like. They're for my husband. I made them large. I made them pretty big. I used the Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock pattern. And for her for all her sizes, she says like to do this part here, I think 60 rows, but I feel like I made mine a little, my husband's tall-ish, like 5'10", 5'11", and so I went a little bit. I feel like he wears his socks a little longer than this, at least his dress socks for the most part. I could be wrong. But I went, I want to say 70 rows. And then I did 120, I want to say, rows of the foot. I did it like 11 and a half, 12 inches. I think like 11 and a half inches, because that's, he wears about an 11 and a half. And these, it's not like stretchy. You know, that's why I was worried, because it just looks huge, but there's not a lot of ease in it. So like, you know, the socks that you usually get at the store, you stretch them over your foot because they have like all that ease. So like while I'm worrying that it looks huge, I think it's fine. You know, it just looks ridiculous, but once it's on his foot, I think it'll be fine. Even when I put it on my foot, let me see if I can do it. Like, you know, that's not ridiculously huge, you know, and I wear a size 7 in women's. So I think we're good. It just looks big because we're just not used to seeing socks like made at their actual length. So yeah, I'm really happy done with this. I'm gonna cast on another sock probably immediately because I like having socks on the needle. What is that thing called? Sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna cast on. I think I'm gonna use one of the ones that my boss sent me, and make some socks with them. So that's that. Sorry, I'm taking all these out. So that is the only 3 things I worked on this whole like last week and a half since I talked to you. I haven't touched my knit t-shirt. I'll be back to that now that my socks are done, and now that like that's probably, well, I don't even know. I think I'm gonna finish I'm at least gonna get through the graph of that blanket, because that's a project that it's not brainless. And the t-shirt is also a project that is not brainless. Like I have to keep track of what row I'm on, like what stitch I'm on, etc. So I can only really work on one, you know, those are ones that I have to do after work. Like I can't just do them when I'm sitting at my desk while I'm doing other things, you know? So those like have to, so I think I'm gonna get through that. Once after I get through that and I'm just do a border, I'll just work on a border, or not a border, but extend it outwards. Then I'll pick something relatively brainless. I'm thinking a block stitch for like the rest to make it bigger. And then I'll be able to like do that whenever. I don't have to be thinking so hard. So yes, so I'll pick that up probably. I'll pick up my tide pool tee after I get the graph part of that blanket done, which I hope to get that done. I'll get that done this week. Those, cause I'm on the, you know, you see I'm on the decreases already, and it's gonna go pretty quick. So yes, so there, I didn't touch that. I didn't, what else I got? I guess that's it as far as active stuff, right? Because I finished the cardigan. I still do have to put the pockets on, but that's just a little supplementary thing. I haven't shown you guys this in a long time, but I still am working on my Musselburgh hat. It's just like, it's the project that just stays in my purse, and like I use it when I'm waiting around at things or sitting down outside of the house, mainly like soccer games and doctor's appointments, things like that. So that's why I have not brought it out like in the house very often lately. So that's why there hasn't been much progress on it. But there has been a little bit. And then I have not really been doing hats. I think once I get through this blanket is another time I can pick back up hats too, because I won't have anything else with a deadline. Everything else will just be like for fun. I guess I want to have that t-shirt done while I can I mean, I live in Atlanta. I can wear t-shirts anytime. So there's that. Okay. The only other thing I want to talk about, I kind of alluded to this, I feel like a few weeks ago, but then I forgot to talk about it, is I said that, like for instance, I spelled it out. Yes. Like I decided not to use these, for my t-shirt, right? My extra cotton yarns. And I said, oh, whatever I don't use, I'll probably give away. So like or put in a mystery box and sell or something. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do, but I am like making this mental catalog of yarn that I think I'm gonna have probably at least one giveaway, or just start putting together mystery boxes. I haven't decided, but there's gonna be several, probably a couple things I'm gonna do, because we are most likely moving like late summer, fall, so I do want to downsize my stash a bit, because if my husband sees how much we really have to move, he will, oof. Yeah. And I'm gonna need trunk space to help move stuff. I have the big car. He has a pickup truck though. Either way, my trunk will need to be evacuated so we can move. And just, you know, it's always just a good time to downsize, is when you're relocating, you can get a fresh start. And so I am gonna be like putting together yarns that I'm ready to part with, either because I've used them, I've had my fun with them, and I'm gonna give away like the rest, the excess, you know, if it's like a certain kind, or because I just want to, or whatever. So I know right now I'm at 902 subscribers. So it may be for like 1,000 subscriber thing, which who knows, that could take a month or that could take a year. I don't know. So if that doesn't look like that's gonna happen soon, then that won't be the plan. But like maybe I'll do a giveaway for that. I definitely will probably be putting together some mystery boxes, because I just like every once in a while I'm like thinking up like just yarns that I know are in my collection. I'm like, I'm not gonna get to that anytime soon. So I think I'm gonna share the love of some of that and just bring my collection down. So just keep an eye out, and if you want to see something sooner rather than later, then hey, share me out to your friends or family or whatever. You don't really have to. Like I said, I'm never going to probably push for monetization. And just, even if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I know I don't have the watch hours, and I will probably not have the watch hours. And even if I get to the point where I can be monetized, I do not have the bandwidth to put out like the amount of content you need to like stay up in the algorithm. So that's not a goal of mine. I just like to talk to you guys because my family does not care about yarn. And so yeah, and it's just fun. It's fun to talk and it's fun to show my work and things like that. But um, if you want to press me to come up with something like sooner rather than later, feel free to share me out. So that I get to 1,000 and then I'm like, okay, I gotta do something. So there's that. I guess I got time to do a few life updates because there's been actually some big updates. One, I told you we're probably gonna move. We're gonna move. We'll see. My husband, the area that he wants, which is kind of close to where he grew up, where his parents live, and all that. It's a little farther out than where I want to be, but I work from home. There's nothing like tying me to where we live, and it's closer to where his kids live, and you know, but not right next to them. Like we're really close to like where my son goes to school, where his dad lives, etc., so that we can co-parent easily, and he didn't really like, his visit or not visitation, his co-parenting schedule is a lot different than mine, whereas like we do 50-50. He does more of the traditional every other weekend, and because of his work schedule, he usually either works second or third shift. Like he wasn't always available to do like, code activities and things like that. So he didn't need to be as close. Whereas like I kind of have to be a little more, and there's also like the mental burden that moms tend to keep, it's just higher than what dads do. Like even in our case where we do 50-50, I'm still the one that has to do a lot of the legwork. And so, we just we both already owned our homes when we got married, and my house is bigger, and so we lived in my house. But just things that are happening lately, like it's just been more conducive where we kind of got to be more in the middle. So I don't want to move like quite as far out where he wants to go, but it is what it is. We'll find a place. I told him like we'll make it work. And so yeah, so there's that. We're probably gonna be looking to move soon. The other big thing is I got a promotion. I had it already like the last time or two that I talked to you. I think it became official like toward the end of last month. But I just forgot to mention it. But it's really exciting. Not a lot of like I was already doing the work for like so for those of you guys that do not know, I am a network engineer for a very well-known movie TV production studio. I've been there for like 4 years. I've been in engineering. I've been a network engineer for 10-ish years, about 10 years. Before that, I was doing something totally different. I was a preschool teacher, but I've wanted to be an engineer since I was a very young child, and just kind of life happened and got sidetracked, and I found my way back, thankfully, and I love what I do. I have such a fun job, which is great. And it's funny because it's still not what I thought I would be doing. Growing up, I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. All the way through, like when I was applying to college, I thought I was going to be designing rocket ships for NASA, which, as we know, NASA does not do that anymore. So it's kind of a good thing. That's not what I do. I mean, I guess I could work for SpaceX or for whatever some of those other companies for. I can't even remember. SpaceX is the big one. But that's anyway. So I got to college, and I don't know why. Instead of actually majoring in aerospace engineering, I majored my freshman year. I think because I took physics in high school and I loved it. I fell in love with physics, and so I actually thought about it. I was like, maybe I can minor in physics. And I was telling like kind of the lady that recruited me originally to my first school I went to, University of Oklahoma, and she's like, oh, we have engineering physics. And I'd never heard of this before, and I was like, it's the two things I love. And so I majored my original major in college was engineering physics, which nobody knew. It was like this very small, the smallest department in the engineering department. And I tried to explain people what I would be doing. And I still wanted to work for NASA. I still wanted to do but I just I don't know. But then after my freshman year, I transferred to back home, because I went to the University of Oklahoma, so my family was still living in Atlanta. I just went there because I got a scholarship. I did not study enough to maintain my GPA, so I was like, oh, they were like, you gotta pay, and I was like, oh, I gotta go. And so I came home and I went to a community college for a few years, And that's when I started working preschool. When I was doing that, it's like how I paid my way through that. And then I graduated with a associate's degree in engineering, and I transferred to the second school I went to, or I guess the third, which was Drexel University, and I studied biomedical engineering while I was there, because somewhere along the lines, I don't remember, at some point in Oklahoma, when I was at Oklahoma, I kind of got really interested in the idea of designing prosthetics, like artificial limbs, etc. And so that's what I wanted to do, because I love mechanics. And then I was like, biology actually was never my top subject, but somehow the idea of like the mechanics of the body like really intrigued me. So I'm sorry, I just like, that's gross. My nose was just itching. So I did that for the rest of my schooling, and then I left school right when that recession in 2008-ish was coming down. And so it's just, I came back. I live in Atlanta. The CDC is here. I thought, I was like, I'm gonna go work for the CDC. I really wanted to do research more than I wanted to work in like industry. Like even when I was at Drexel, like I did a lot of work with professors like in their labs. And so I wanted to do research. I could not get in there to save my life. Like to this day, I don't know. I know actually a couple people that work for the CDC. I have no idea how they got in there. I couldn't even get a sniff at my resume. Like there was a few other companies that, you know, do biomedical like stuff, like R&D type of stuff. Couldn't get anything. So I went back to teaching daycare, preschool, because that's what I did for years, a few years. And I kept doing, I did that for 2008 to like 8 more years, through getting married, through having my first child. And I was just like, it was fine. I was good at it. I liked working with kids. It paid nothing at all. And especially around the time when I knew I was headed to a divorce, like I was like, I can't survive on this. Like I stayed married for 3 or 4 years, probably 3 years longer than I should have, because I knew, like, just because I was like, I can't raise my kid on this. And actually through my ex-husband, through someone he knew, I got into this program that does like IT training for like unemployed, underemployed people. They had like a grant, like it's just like a fly-by-night tech school that pretty much just prepares you to take the cert exam. Like they don't even exist anymore. I drive by the location all the time, and it doesn't exist anymore, because their grant ran out. And so like it was just right place, right time. Got my networking certifications. I got my first couple of jobs. I don't know why I'm telling you my whole career history. We're just talking at this point. You can go. But yeah, you know, how did we get on this? I got a promotion. So I worked for a couple different companies, just kind of worked my way up, learning, and I love what I do. Like I think I like it a lot more than if I were designing spaceships, if I were designing prosthetics. Like I have a lot of fun. There's like problem solving. It's like I get to build networks. Like I've helped like design the networks that a lot of your favorite movies used to send their data, like transfer their flat files, do their editing, do their accounting, everything. Like you've seen my work, which is kind of cool. Like I don't want to name the company I work for, but you know it. But yeah, it's just a fun job, and so I'm really happy to have this promotion. Like it's really good. So now I'm a senior network engineer as opposed to just a network engineer. I'm really happy with that, and so that's life update there. That's why one reason I've just been I haven't been busier, because like I said, I'm doing most of that work already. There's like some extra meetings that I have to go to every week, and there's like a couple extra chats that I have to be in. But you know, I've been trying to like not take on, but like I'm very quiet. I tend to be like very quiet at work, like in group chats and stuff, or if I see something, like I might not call it out. I might like poke somebody else about it, like on the side, but I won't be like loud. But you know, now that I feel like I got a little bit of extra target on my back, like I've definitely like trying to been more proactive about things at work. So I've been busier at work, but I love it. I'm having so much fun. And well, that's about it. With summer, school's almost out. My son is finishing 8th grade. He's actually technically done with 8th grade because they're done. They just did the state testing. Like they're not doing, his school for some reason like doesn't have finals, which I remember when I was in middle school or that age, like we had finals, but he's never taken a final exam, I don't think, yet. It's gonna be a rude awakening next year. But they just did like all the final state testing. I think the teachers are putting in the last of their grades. They're not doing any more academic work. This like school's technically in for like 2 more weeks, but this week is they're doing like their all their little 8th grade outings, end of year outings and field day and like practicing for graduation. His graduation is on Wednesday, and then they're doing field day on Thursday, which is weird, but I think because of state testing they had to do it after graduation, and they were like, after field day do not come back. So the 6th and 7th graders, they'll have like another week and a half, but the 8th graders will be done. So yeah, that's exciting. My oldest stepson is also finishing 8th grade. I don't think his school does like a whole graduation like my son's school does. So I told his dad to ask, and he was like, they don't do graduations. I was like, my kid's school does, and like when I was that age, like we had a graduation before high school. Though I had friends at other schools, I don't think they did. But I was like, just ask, you know. And so I guess he asked, and then his kid was like, no, I'm in 8th grade. Why would I have a graduation? I was like, I don't know. My kid's school does. So they're not having one, but I think they're having like an award ceremony. But yeah, so we're gonna have 2 high schoolers in just a week, which is crazy. But I'm glad this school year's over. We had a tough year. So it'll be good to just be done and be like in the summer. Though I did get him like the summer bridge activities, which I do every year. He has yet to ever finish that little workbook or even get halfway through. But I was like, you have to do it. Like this year you have to, because high school is a whole other thing. So we'll see how far he gets and just have him stay on it, because he gets like, you know, that summer brain drain that teachers talk about. Like my kid gets it. I didn't used to get that much when I was like his age, but he gets it after like spring break. Like he can be out for a week and come back, and you think he's never seen like an addition problem before. Like that's how bad his brain drain is. So we definitely got to keep him motivated this summer. But yeah, so that's what we've been doing. And yeah, anything else? Nothing much going on for Mother's Day. He actually went with his dad to see his grandmother. I think several of the siblings and cousins went down to see their mom, his grandmother. So he's doing that. I'm a little sad, but he got me some flowers before they left and gave me a hug and a kiss, which I never get from him. So I don't know if his dad put him up to it or he just was feeling extra nice, but he is your quintessential teenager, and the worst thing you can ask him to do is give his mom a hug. But I got a hug, a kiss, and I love you. So like I'm good for a few weeks. Like I'll ride high on that. And then the stepkids, we do have them this weekend. But they didn't really, you know, we got some mugs for them to give their moms, and we'll go to church tomorrow. I don't know if the church is going to do anything, but I don't have really any plans. My husband, he's got to take them back after church, and I'm just going to come home and relax and actually probably do some cleaning. So that's my Mother's Day. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to you guys. Let me know how you all are. Let me know what you think I should do as far as like, yeah, either celebrating 1,000 if I get to 1,000 soon, or getting rid of some yarn. If you are interested in some, let me, you know, if you guys are interested, let me know in mystery boxes. If I get a good response, maybe I'll put some together. Among other things, I think I'm gonna get rid of a lot. Not a lot. Let me not make promises. I will get rid of yarn. I cannot make any promises as to the amount. But anyway, I'm gonna go. It's like 1 a.m. I will talk to you guys soon. Let me know what's up, how you're doing, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.